Okay, Tribers, so next block of training coming in fast. So what are we doing? Well, we're actually going to drop the dynamic warm-ups, which I know that some of you have thoroughly enjoyed. And it's been a good laugh seeing you guys really head on with those bounding type motions and the hop motions. But I want us to start afresh with a new block of training. So we're going to dial that back. We're going to take out those movements and prioritize mobility. So it will be just a straight swap. We have a general warm-up. Not necessarily dynamic, and then some set mobility routines which allow us to get into better positions, and that will lead naturally and nicely into our session. So for the first 4 weeks, what we're going to do then is we're going to go into, or first 3 weeks, we're going to go into a power snatch with a pause in the power snatch straight into an overhead squat. And the concept of there is that, one, we will produce more force, more speed, hopefully, because we're not worried about getting underneath. We're concentrating on getting that bar above our head, and hopefully good footwork comes with it, because actually if you don't work on your footwork, you're going to find it really hard to ride that into an overhead squat. And it's just going to develop that overhead squat position. So really good complex for us to start with. We'll progress that straight into some hang squat snatches with a pause at knee. And the concept there is what we did, as similar to what we did before, which is that I hope that with us doing pause at above knee, we can work on that second and third pull underneath the bar, but we can most importantly work on keeping that bar nice and close and being positionally aware. As before, really going too mental with load. Following on from that, and I apologise for the is saying overhead squats. So we go straight into some overhead squats. These ones will be paused in the bottom. We'll be working on threes. We will progress to twos, and we might even progress to ones. I'm not 100% sure on the overhead squats. I think I'll adapt as we go. The pause obviously being a big element, and that is going to develop that bottom position, our confidence in catching that bar at the bottom of our snatch, and hopefully with that kind of makes sense why we're doing it. When it comes to our strength from the floor, we will go straight into, definitely on Tuesdays, go into some deficit snatch segment deadlift. God, that was a hard one to say. We will pause 1 inch off the floor, or one inch off the floor, on our knee, mid-thigh or the hip, power position, and then we'll lower back down, and we'll do that for 3 reps. Each pause will be 2 seconds, just to familiarize ourselves and also develop those positions. It will be anywhere from 90% to your max snatch to start, and then obviously we'll fundamentally increase each week. And again, bar path, we're really going to ingrain great technique on them. So more importantly, that we can maintain those positions, then actually we look for load. So on the clean day, it will be slightly different, only slightly though. The hang power clean, I don't see so much benefit in us going into a front squat after. So we will just do pause triples, freeze, because they're not triples, you wouldn't be dropping the bar hopefully, with pause at knee and pause in the power clean. And the reason for that is that we want to develop those positions and just be aware of footwork. So that's going to be a big thing in this next period, is making sure that our power clean and our power snatch position is the same as our squat snatch position, which for some of us coming from more of a CrossFit background probably aren't even aware if they are. Certainly I'm not often. So, and then we'll go into some hang squat cleans. Again, that's going to be very similar to the hang squat snatch, 3-second pause at the knee. Before moving into some split jerk work, I want to make sure we prioritize this block. So we'll start with an EMOM. We'll probably either do tool split jerk, or maybe if I want us to, or some people specifically, to develop their awareness in the bottom, they might do some strict press in that position, similar to what we did the past week. And the reason for that is we want to stay light and focus on that bottom position, being consciously aware of what our split should look like, and how individually we might change that. So some people might have a slightly longer lunge, some people might have a slightly shorter lunge, and actually it comes down to what's most stable. Okay, and then we'll progress into some split jerks. So I don't just want you to be restricted to just the empty bar. I want you to have an opportunity to practice it. So we will then start with a pause split jerk EMOM. Okay, the first 5 minutes will be 3-second pause in the dip and in the catch. So that's just 1 to 2 reps, that rather, up to you. And these ones are aimed at really giving you frequency or volume to practice those movements rather than worrying too much about load. I'm not even going to put a load in there. That's up to you guys, okay? Once we've done that, the first 5 minutes, we'll progress into just a pause in the catch where you can slightly go a little bit heavier again. There's no need at this point to be looking at any more than 70% of your split jerk, 75% of your split jerk, because actually we want to make sure we are landing in that position, we are solid overhead, and we are strong in position. So that's going to be our first 4 weeks. If and only if we have time, we will then go into hopefully 3 to 4 sets. The same deficit, clean segment deadlift, and the reason for the clean segment deadlift is that elevated surface is going to challenge us a little bit more. So that, especially for the guys who maybe are really able to get into position easily. So that will be individual. Some of you, I might make you stand on 2 mats, or and others will be working off the floor, or potentially for just 1 mat. The maximum we want to go is about 2 inches on the deficit, so that we can make sure we can maintain perfect positions. And that's how it's going to progress, guys. Once we've done that, we'll go into something else. But for initially, that's going to be it.